Welcome to our deep dive into the world of dinosaurs. You're here because you want to go beyond the usual T-Rex and Triceratops fanfare, right? You want the real deal, the whole story. And we're going to deliver. We're diving into Steve Broussard's The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs, focusing on chapters about how these incredible creatures evolved, came to dominate the planet, and ultimately met their dramatic end. We'll be using his timeline, family tree, and world maps from the book to paint a vivid picture of their journey.
It's a story full of twists and turns more surprising than most people realize.
For example, did you know that for millions of years, dinosaurs were actually held back not by bigger, meaner predators, but by something far less exciting? The climate. It's a great example of how even the mightiest creatures are at the mercy of environmental forces. So let's start our journey back in the Triassic period, right after the massive Permian extinction. This is where dinosaurs first emerged, but it wasn't exactly a glamorous debut.
Think of it as their awkward teenage phase. They were small, gangly, and definitely not the apex predators we often imagine.
We actually learn about how paleontologists are using trace fossils, things like footprints, to piece together this early evolution. It's like detective work, using these ancient tracks to understand their movements and behaviors.
Exactly. Broussard talks about the work of Grzegorz Niedźwiecki in Poland, who has uncovered thousands of these footprints, and one of his most significant discoveries is Prorodactylus.
Okay, Prorodactylus. What's so special about this little guy?
Well, it's a small four-legged creature that left tiny tracks, and it's considered a very early ancestor of dinosaurs. In fact, some paleontologists call it the Lucy of the dinosaur world.
I see the Lucy because it gives us this crucial window into early dinosaur evolution, just like the Lucy skeleton did for human evolution.
Precisely. Prorodactylus had certain features in its ankle and foot bones that link it to later dinosaurs, helping us trace that lineage back.
That's fascinating. But I imagine it's difficult to get a precise timeline for these early dinosaurs, right?
Absolutely. One of the challenges in the Triassic is the limited use of radiometric dating. This technique measures the decay of radioactive elements in rocks and fossils to determine their age. However, the types of rocks that are ideal for this dating method are not as common in the Triassic, which makes pinning down exact dates tricky. It's like having a puzzle with some pieces missing.
So we have to rely on other clues like the fossils themselves and their geological context to piece together the story. What else do we know about these early dinosaurs and their world?
Well, the fossils we have show that early dinosaurs were restricted geographically. They thrived in humid regions, places like Ischigualasto, Argentina, which has yielded some amazing early dinosaur fossils like Eoraptor and Herrerasaurus.
But they weren't everywhere, were they?
Not at all. Arid regions were a big challenge. They just couldn't handle the extreme heat and mega monsoons of the supercontinent Pangaea.
Wow, mega monsoons. It's incredible to think about these massive storms raging across the planet. So, while dinosaurs were struggling in some areas, who was thriving during this time?
Well, in those arid environments, dinosaurs were outcompeted by their crocodile relatives, a group called pseudosuchians. These were the ancestors of modern crocodiles, and they were incredibly diverse and well-suited to those harsh conditions. In fact, they were the dominant land animals for a good chunk of the Triassic. There's even evidence from what's now Portugal that shows a giant amphibian Metaposaurus was ruling the waters while dinosaurs were largely absent. It paints a picture of a dynamic world where different ecosystems favored different types of creatures.
So dinosaurs were kind of stuck in a rut, overshadowed by these other reptilian groups. What changed the game for them?
Well, a major turning point came at the end of the Triassic period, a mass extinction event.
We left off with the end Triassic extinction event. This was a time of massive volcanic eruptions that reshaped the planet, wiping out a huge percentage of life, including many of those dominant pseudosuchians. But as you might guess, this event opened the door for dinosaurs to take center stage.
It's a classic example of how mass extinctions, while devastating, can also create opportunities for new groups of organisms to rise to prominence. Dinosaurs had certain characteristics that allowed them to weather the storm, so to speak, and they were poised to take advantage of the ecological gaps left behind.
Broussard mentions the Newark supergroup when talking about this rise of the dinosaurs. What exactly is that?
The Newark supergroup is a collection of rock formations found across the eastern United States that preserve a remarkable record of the early Jurassic period right after the Triassic extinction. The fossils found in these rocks show a dramatic increase in the diversity and abundance of dinosaurs. It's like they were waiting in the wings, ready to seize their moment.
And one group of dinosaurs that really capitalized on this opportunity was the sauropods, those long-necked giants that we all picture. when we think of massive dinosaurs.
Their rise to dominance is truly remarkable, and it's intrinsically linked to some key adaptations that allowed them to outcompete rivals and thrive in this new world.
Let's talk about those adaptations. What made them so successful?
Yeah. Well, one crucial adaptation was their unique respiratory system. Sauropods had unidirectional lungs, meaning that air flowed in a single direction through their lungs, similar to modern birds. This is far more efficient than the bidirectional flow of air in our own lungs, and it allowed sauropods to extract oxygen more effectively.
So that's how they were able to fuel those massive bodies. Were there other adaptations that contributed to their gigantism?
Yes, their bones also played a crucial role. Sauropods developed air sacs within their bones, which made their skeletons lighter without sacrificing strength. Imagine a building that's both incredibly tall and incredibly lightweight. That's what sauropods achieved.
It's like an engineering marvel of nature. Did their unique respiratory and skeletal systems play a role in regulating their body temperature as well?
Absolutely. These adaptations also helped sauropods regulate their body temperature more effectively, which was crucial for thriving in a world that was becoming increasingly warm.
It's amazing how these interconnected adaptations allowed them to become the largest land animals to ever walk the earth. But let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about the gentle giants, but now let's discuss the king of the dinosaurs, the one that everyone knows and loves to fear, Tyrannosaurus rex. Why do you think T-Rex has captured the public imagination for so long?
Well, T-Rex is undoubtedly an impressive creature, but its story is more than just teeth and claws. It's a tale of evolution, adaptation, and overcoming challenges. One of the things that Broussard emphasizes is that T-Rex did not just appear out of nowhere and instantly dominate.
So they weren't always the top predator.
No, their rise to the top was a long process, millions of years in the making. Their lineage can be traced back to much smaller feathered ancestors, such as Guanlong from China. Can you imagine a fluffy T-Rex covered in feathers?
That's a far cry from the image we usually have.
Yeah.
That completely changes my mental picture of them. What kind of evidence do we have for these feathered ancestors?
Paleontologists like Zhu Jing have unearthed an incredible array of feathered dinosaurs in Liaoning Province, China. This region has preserved fossils with remarkable detail showing the intricate structure of feathers in these ancient creatures. These discoveries have revolutionized our understanding of dinosaur evolution, and they've cemented the link between dinosaurs and birds. It turns out that birds are actually living dinosaurs.
That's incredible. So T-Rex had to overcome some serious competition before becoming king. What were some of the rivals they had to face off against?
Well, before T-Rex rose to prominence in the late Cretaceous, there were other large predatory dinosaurs, such as the Carcharodontosaurs, that were at the top of the food chain. These were formidable predators in their own right, and T-Rex had to outcompete them to become the apex predator of its time.
It was a real battle for dominance.
Yeah.
So what were some of the key adaptations that allowed T-Rex to come out on top? What made them such effective hunters?
Well, their most obvious weapon was their incredible bite force. Their jaws were designed to crush bones, delivering an estimated bite force of over 12,000 pounds, which is one of the strongest ever recorded for any land animal.
That's just mind-boggling. It's
Yeah.
hard to even imagine the power behind a bite like that. Were there other adaptations that contributed to their hunting prowess?
Yes. They also had an incredible sense of smell, which would have helped them locate prey from a distance. And they grew incredibly fast, putting on an average of 5 pounds a day during their teenage growth spurts.
Wow, talk about a growth spurt. Did they hunt alone, or is there evidence that they might have hunted in packs?
There's some debate among paleontologists about their social behavior, but some evidence, like multiple trackways of T-Rex found together, suggests that they might have engaged in pack hunting at times, which would have made them even more formidable predators.
It's incredible to think about these massive creatures working together to take down prey. So we've gone from those humble beginnings in the Triassic to the reign of the tyrant king T-Rex. The story of dinosaurs is full of surprises and unexpected turns. But as we know, all good things must come to an end.
Indeed, and for the dinosaurs, that end came in the form of a cataclysmic event, the asteroid impact that marked the boundary between the Cretaceous and Paleogene periods. The asteroid impact that marked the boundary between the Cretaceous and Paleogene periods.
We've been talking about the incredible diversity of dinosaurs, their amazing adaptations, and their rise to dominance. But looming over it all is the asteroid impact that ended their reign. It's hard to grasp the sheer scale of that event and the impact it had on the planet. What were the immediate consequences of the impact?
Well, the immediate aftermath of the asteroid impact was catastrophic. We're talking about a massive object estimated to be about 6 miles wide, slamming into Earth with incredible force. This triggered earthquakes that would have dwarfed anything we've ever experienced, tsunamis that surged across continents, and wildfires that raged across vast distances as the ejected debris rained back down on Earth.
It must have felt like the end of the world.
In many ways it was. The long-term effects were even more devastating. The impact threw up so much dust and debris into the atmosphere that it essentially blocked out the sun, plunging the planet into a period of prolonged darkness and cold, a kind of nuclear winter. This had a devastating impact on plant life, which forms the basis of most food chains.
So it was this cascade of events that ultimately led to the extinction of the dinosaurs.
Yes, the asteroid impact was the initial blow, but it was the chain reaction of environmental consequences that followed that wiped out so many species, including the non-avian dinosaurs.
Broussard talks about the work of Walter Alvarez, who found evidence for this impact theory. What was so groundbreaking about his discovery?
Walter Alvarez and his team discovered a thin layer of iridium in rock layers around the world that dated back to the boundary between the Cretaceous and Paleogene periods. Iridium is a rare element on Earth, but is much more abundant in asteroids and meteorites. This global iridium layer provided the first concrete evidence that the dinosaurs' extinction was likely caused by a massive impact event.
It's incredible how a thin layer of this extraterrestrial element could unlock such a profound mystery. But was the asteroid impact the only factor involved in the extinction event? Were there other things happening at the time that might have played a role?
That's a question that paleontologists continue to debate. Some scientists point to the massive volcanic eruptions that were happening in what is now India at the time of the extinction. These eruptions, which formed the Deccan Traps, released huge amounts of lava and gases into the atmosphere, potentially contributing to climate change and environmental stress.
So it's possible that these eruptions weakened dinosaur populations, making them more vulnerable to the effects of the asteroid impact.
That's one theory. It's likely that the extinction was a complex interplay of multiple factors, with the asteroid being the final decisive blow.
It's a sobering thought that even something as powerful and seemingly invincible as the dinosaurs could be wiped out by forces beyond their control. But amidst all this devastation, some forms of life managed to survive.
Yes, amidst the extinction, there were survivors. Birds, the descendants of dinosaurs, made it through, as did small mammals, reptiles, amphibians, fish, and many other creatures.
What do you think determined who lived and who died? Why did some lineages like the dinosaurs disappear while others like the birds and mammals went on to flourish?
Well, one key factor was likely ecological flexibility. Smaller creatures with generalized diets and the ability to adapt to a wider range of environments would have had a better chance of survival in the rapidly changing post-impact world. They could find food sources and shelter more easily than larger animals that were specialized for particular habitats or food chains.
It's like having a versatile toolkit versus a single specialized tool. When the environment changes drastically, having options is key.
Exactly, and we see that play out in the fossil record. In the aftermath of the extinction, the mammals, who were mostly small and adaptable, experienced a rapid diversification, filling the ecological niches left vacant by the dinosaurs.
So the extinction event, while tragic, opened up new opportunities for other lineages to evolve and thrive.
It's a recurring theme in Earth's history. Extinctions are often followed by periods of rapid diversification, leading to new and often unexpected forms of life.
And the dinosaurs, while gone, have left behind an incredible legacy. They ruled the planet for over 180 million years, and their descendants, the birds, continue to fill our skies today.
It's a reminder that even in extinction, there's continuity. The story of life is a tapestry woven with threads of survival, adaptation, and renewal.
As we conclude our deep dive into the world of dinosaurs, I'm struck by how much their story mirrors our own in a way. They faced challenges, they adapted, they flourished, and ultimately they were subject to forces beyond their control. It makes you think about our own place on this planet and the responsibility we have to understand and protect the delicate web of life.
It's a valuable perspective to gain from exploring the past. By understanding the history of life on Earth, the challenges and triumphs, the extinctions and the renewals, we gain a deeper appreciation for the fragility and resilience of our planet and our place within its intricate tapestry.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the world of dinosaurs. It's been a fascinating exploration of their evolution, their rise and fall, and the lasting legacy they've left behind.